The black hole within you, a journey into inner infinity. Most people spend their entire lives running from the emptiness they feel inside. But what if that void isn't something to escape from? It's actually the most powerful spiritual portal in the universe. Science tells us that black holes are points of infinite density, invisible forces that bend reality itself. And here's what nobody's telling you. There's one living right inside you. The person who learns to stop fearing the darkness within and dives headfirst into it discovers something religions have whispered about for centuries, that mystics have died trying to describe, and that quantum physics is only now beginning to confirm. This journey isn't for the faint-hearted. It's for the soul that's been feeling a calling it can't quite name, a pull towards something deeper, something real, something infinite. Welcome to the most radical inner journey a human being can take, the plunge into the black hole within. Topic 6. Healing through the void. Here's something the universe seems to understand deeply. Nothing is wasted. Every wound, every betrayal, every moment of crushing failure carries within it an extraordinary amount of compressed energy. Energy that, once properly processed, can fuel some of the most remarkable healing and personal growth a human being will ever know. This is the alchemy at the heart of all genuine spirituality. The transformation of darkness into light, of pain into power, of confusion into clarity. The black hole doesn't destroy what it consumes, it transforms it beyond recognition. And that's exactly what deep inner healing does. The work of Gabor Mate, particularly The Myth of Normal, reveals something stunning. Most of what's called addiction, chronic illness, anxiety, and depression is, at its core, stored trauma seeking a pathway to release. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. In the language of energy and consciousness, unprocessed pain creates dense, heavy regions in the energetic field that act as gravity wells, pulling the same painful patterns in again and again. This isn't merely metaphor. Somatic therapy and functional neuroscience are now confirming what the spiritual traditions have always known. Healing isn't the absence of pain, it's the transformation of it. Practical healing through the void looks like this. Starting somatic bodywork through practitioners trained in Peter Levine's somatic experiencing, committing to shadow work through honest journaling, and consciously examining the beliefs that generate suffering rather than simply avoiding them. It also looks like radical self-compassion, a skill, not a feeling, as taught brilliantly by Dr. Kristen Neff in Self-Compassion, the proven power of being kind to yourself. The person who takes this work seriously will notice something strange and beautiful beginning to happen. The places that hurt most start to glow. The void becomes luminous. And in that luminosity, the soul recognizes its own calling with absolute clarity. Topic 7. The 7 symptoms of awakening. Spiritual awakening doesn't arrive wearing a white robe and carrying a golden harp. More often, it shows up looking like a crisis. But there are specific recognizable signs that someone is undergoing a genuine energetic and consciousness shift, and knowing these 7 symptoms can be the difference between resisting the process in terror and surrendering to it in trust. The first is a sudden and profound disillusionment with things that used to bring satisfaction, career, relationships, status symbols, as though the soul has outgrown them overnight. The second is an intense heightening of intuition, knowing things before they happen, sensing the emotions of others without being told, feeling a spiritual vision expanding beyond the ordinary senses. The third symptom is a powerful shift in sleep patterns, often waking between 3 and 4 a.m., during what many traditions call the hour of the universe, when the veil between ordinary reality and higher consciousness is thinnest. The fourth is a deep, almost physical hunger for meaning and authentic connection. Shallow conversations start to feel unbearable. The fifth is synchronicities, meaningful coincidences arriving with such precision and frequency they can no longer be dismissed as random. Carl Jung spent decades studying these, concluding that they represent the universe communicating directly with the individual consciousness. They're not superstition, they're signals from the energetic portal that's opening. The sixth symptom is a growing sense of detachment from the old identity, the feeling that who I thought I was is a character in a story rather than the author of it. This can be deeply unsettling, but it's actually the beginning of an extraordinary freedom. The seventh and most profound symptom is the emergence of unconditional love. Not romantic love, but something far larger. A spontaneous warmth toward all living beings, a sense of interconnectedness with everything in the universe that arrives unbidden and changes the quality of every moment. These 7 symptoms aren't a checklist for spiritual performance. They're coordinates on the map of a transformation that, once begun, carries the soul toward its most luminous destination. And that destination has a name: enlightenment. Topic 8. Elevating your soul. To elevate your soul isn't a weekend workshop achievement. It's a daily practice, a choice made moment by moment to live from the inside out, rather than the outside in. Once a person has traveled through the event horizon, faced the dark night, touched the singularity, and begun to heal the wounds that kept them orbiting the same painful patterns, they arrive at a new kind of life. Not a perfect life, a real one. A life where inner peace isn't dependent on external circumstances, where consciousness expands with every genuine encounter, and where the universe is no longer something happening to them, but something happening through them. This is the living expression of spiritual development at its most advanced. Elevating the soul in practical terms means building what might be called a spiritual architecture for daily life, structures and habits that continuously anchor a person in their higher self. This includes a consistent morning practice. Meditate for at least 10 minutes before checking the phone, set a conscious intention for the day, and spend a moment in genuine gratitude, not performed gratitude, but the kind that arises when someone actually contemplates the miracle of being alive. It means choosing relationships that feed the soul, rather than drain it. And it means doing work in the world that aligns with the deeper calling. Even if that means starting small, even if that means disrupting the entire plan. The spiritual portal that opened the moment this journey began doesn't close again. And that's both the beauty and the responsibility of awakening. The universe doesn't call someone into consciousness and then let them coast. Every new level of awareness brings a new level of invitation, a deeper layer of the self to discover, a greater capacity to serve, love, and create. Mysticism, at its most alive, isn't retreat from the world. It's the most engaged, most present, most vibrant way of living in it. The black hole within isn't a place of destruction. It's a place of absolute infinite creation, and the soul that dares to enter it fully, that soul doesn't just survive the journey, it becomes the light on the other side. The invitation that changes everything. Now there's a question worth sitting with. What if everything that has felt like darkness in life, every ending, every wound, every sleepless night, every moment of feeling utterly lost, was actually the universe pulling one deeper into themselves, closer to the singularity where all real power lives? What if the black hole within isn't the enemy, but the teacher? This knowledge doesn't belong sealed on a shelf. It belongs in the morning routine, in the difficult conversations, in the quiet courage of choosing authenticity over performance. Take one step today. Meditate for 10 minutes in complete silence. Journal one honest page about what's no longer serving the soul, and notice what happens in the body when truth is finally allowed to breathe. Every transformation begins not with a grand gesture, but with a single, genuine decision to stop running from the void and start running toward the light within it. Are you ready to stop orbiting your own life and actually enter it? Does the world built outside still reflect who you genuinely are on the inside? And if the answer to either of those questions created even the smallest tremor of recognition, that tremor is the singularity saying hello. Subscribe to this channel and enable notifications, because this is only the beginning of where this journey goes. And what's ahead will travel even deeper, further, and more beautifully into the territory the soul has always been meant to explore. The journey into inner infinity has only just begun.